Hey everyone, Formal Riot here, offering an extended welcome to the 11th episode of Flamecaster, along with Pain God and SpringStingray. Today we have musician Koroshi-Ya, as well as episode discussion involving Spike. So sit back, relax, work out, do whatever it is you're doing when you listen to this mindless dribble. This is Flamecaster. Everyone, once again, an extended welcome from the crew to Flamecaster episode 11. Blah! It has been so fucking hot. I don't know. I shouldn't be complaining, though. From what I've heard, it's actually a lot worse where you're at, Pangod.
Well, we've been getting around the 40s. We've had a full week of that stuff. But the good news is we have a swimming pool up. And also air conditioning.
You have a pool and air conditioning?
Yes. Yes, we do. Not in the same place, obviously, because the pool is cold enough as it is.
I guess. Does the pool actually become sort of a hot tub when it gets that?
Surprisingly enough, no, it doesn't. That might just be evaporation. I don't know.
Well, anyways, onto the actual important matters at hand. Before we actually get into the thickness of the episode, interesting news that I've been reading up upon recently, at least, you know, it's been spread around a bit, but apparently the hub is actually starting to attack MLP videos. And at least the states are starting to have videos removed.
I think the info's a little bit thin on the ground. I think it's that they've applied another copyright filter, and it seems to have gone a little bit awry. What it's doing is it's scanning YouTube videos for content, and because of the fact that, you know, there's a lot of YouTube poops, there's a lot of PMVs, the fan series like Friendship is Witchcraft, Mentally Advanced, all that kind of stuff, they use a lot of the clips obviously just small clips, but the same as the actual show. So it's picking up on those and removing a few of them. Now, I've had to dig around, and it doesn't seem to affect Australia too much. I haven't noticed. Well, none of mine have gone down for a start.
Yeah, I could say the same.
So I think it is, from what I understand, it is just America that's being affected. But I don't think it's any kind of evil undertones here. It's not like the hub's all of a sudden cracking down on everything. I just think they're continuing to protect their copyright, and the result of that is a little bit of an overzealous automated system because YouTube.
Well, from what I've heard, though, it actually is a bit of a zealous thing because there are rumors. That's what I've gathered. Rumors that it has a lot to do with the fact that China has, agreed not to air the show.
Yes, and there was that as well.
And this has just sort of been, you know, Hasbro's reaction to that. There might be some malicious undertones to it at the same time. I heard one very interesting theory that, you know, it was all a marketing ploy to let it be free for so long to gather interest in the show, and now they're just going to cut off completely. Well, I'd like to think that's not the case. The conspiracy nut in me just starts, you know.
If that was the case from the get-go, it might have been as much as a half a year ago, they did actually say we're taking down all the 1080p rips from YouTube, but we're allowing the lesser quality ones. So when they did that, it was...
Wasn't it?
Yeah?
Wasn't it the iTunes rips weren't to be on YouTube, but the television rips were?
Something like that. The idea was, you know, lower def you can access on YouTube, no problem, but if you want high def, high fidelity video and audio, then you would, you know, obviously pay the money for it.
Well, fair enough. However, as fascinating as this all is, there really isn't much more we can add to it besides speculation at this stage. As mentioned before, it hasn't really hit Australia yet, thank goodness. There are more important issues that we need to address tonight, including our guest. He's known as one of the more controversial musicians out there, as it were. However, you know, I still love his stuff, personally, and that is the friend of Meelz, who was on a couple weeks ago, Koroshi-Ya. Thank you for coming on.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, indeed. I must say, this is 11th episode, so we've had 11 interviews. This is the first time I'm actually feeling a bit starstruck. I'm excited as, and that includes Stormwolf. I can put you above Stormwolf, and he's probably going to yell at me later for saying that, but...
Yeah, but the difference between Stormwolf and me is, I'm 7 years older than him, and I'm taller than him, so therefore I'm more intimidating, so it's natural.
Also, if he comes at me, you can beat him up for me? You can beat him up for me if he, comes at me?
I could beat up half this fandom judging off their age group.
Fantastic.
Not Jackalope, though. He could probably sit on me.
Cool.
And thus we immediately get to the very heart of the Koroshi.
Yes. Well, I've always found it to be, you know, in similar thing with Meelz, it's a bit of a fresh air when you actually get a little attitude in the fandom. It's something that I believe it lacks as a whole. And thus I embrace it with open arms. So, leading into that, the first question itself, what inspires you to, like, is it the same thing? I guess what I'm trying to say is, did you feel that the entire fandom as a whole needed some attitude, and that's a main drive for motivation, or does it come from somewhere else?
Well, to be honest with you, and this is gonna seem really, really fucking... Wait, am I allowed to swear? Am I allowed to swear? Oh, thank fucking Christ. First off, me and Meelz, we are gigantic fans of WWE, and I say that with pride. I say that with complete pride. Basically, I've been the kind of guy where it's like, you know, I'm in a fandom, and this may be the only chance I ever get to get heard. This is the only chance I'll ever get to be a somebody. I'm gonna make the most of it. So, in a sense, and this is what a lot of people mix up from time to time, it's sort of like me playing a character, in a sense. And that seems so fucking lame from the perspective of a normal brony who's like, oh, what brony music is ours? Oh, there's this Koroshi-Ya guy. He's a fucking dickhead. He's probably a real dickhead outside of this all. But it's like, no, if you look back to one of my first songs, which was actually a remix of me ranting in Skype, pretty much what it was me ranting about the state of brony musicians in the sense of like, it's all egotism. It's like, we're bigger than everyone. You know, this is going to last forever. So in a sense, I built a character based around that. Like I was saying, I'm an internet celebrity back when I was at like 100 subs. And now, if anything, it's ironic that I don't say that now at about, you know, nearly 1,500. But, no, it's just fun, really. And if I had to really base it off anything, CM Punk, who's basically my biggest inspiration for life itself. Like, a guy who is known, in a sense, to just piss people off at the drop of a hat. I'm the kind of guy that will just go to a video and not so much troll, but just think to myself, this is going to piss someone off. Yeah, I'm going to do it. This will be good for a little bit. And that was the same thing that inspired my song, Fuck the Fandom. The thing that pissed me off with that was everyone seemed to like it, and all the musicians who I joked around with loved it. So, that pissed me off. It was like, Mike the Microphone's like, hey man, good job, and Aviator's is like, yeah, good job, and I'm like, this is fucking bullshit! No, you're meant to be angry with me! That's a problem I've always had. Every time I try to piss someone off half the time, it usually turns back on me, and they're like, oh, good job. Or if I say something...
Your entire life is just one big springtime for Hitler.
I'm a walking fucking paradox. I try to piss people off and they end up liking me. It's like, what the fuck?
Loop back effect.
I can't win. Just a tad.
To be fair, though, that song, like, you can't say, though, that song didn't spark any controversy whatsoever. Like, you may not have pissed off the musicians you were targeting, but I did see a lot of, you know, angry people in the fandom just lose their shit about that song.
Oh, man, that was fucking hilarious. I've actually still got people messaging me about that. That's fucking brilliant. It's like, oh, you fucking man. And it's not even the bronies that are pissed off at me, it's the juggalos that are pissed off at me.
Oh, yes.
Juggalos, they're,
The insane clown.
Juggalos, yeah, pretty much what bronies are to My Little Pony, juggalos are to, what's a good,
Insane
my
Clown
friend
Posse.
is gonna, it's not even Insane Clown Posse, it's,
okay.
it's like a full thing, horrorcore rap, like, rappers like Twisted, Blaze Your Dead Homie, Anybody Killer.
What is it?
I'm a huge fan of that music, so in a sense it was a little homage to them.
An entire
what Cannibal
genre that I
Corpse?
have no interest in at all.
What are you talking about, man? It's great music, you know, it's deep and meaningful.
Was it Cannibal Corpse?
I do have to admit, while it's not my favorite genre, some of the lyrics are very creative.
Oh, they're fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like Insane Clown Posse or not, you can't deny that they are fucking hilarious. Like, they don't even take themselves seriously half the time. That's what I love about them.
I think that's the best part of them. They, like, from what I've seen from them in interviews, again, I don't really listen to their music at all because it's not my thing, but from what I've read, they're happy with people either laughing with them or at them. They just want, you know, people to enjoy how sort of insane they are.
Well, they've basically taken the title. They've taken the title of the most hated fucking band on the planet, and you know, there've been so many times in the past where their record contract with Disney fucking going over in under 3 months. And all that shit, like, they've taken that title with pride. Yeah, they were on Disney Records for because they're like, oh, clowns. Kids are gonna love clowns. What's this album? The Great Malenko. Halls of Illusions. Oh, boy. Little sister's getting raped. Whoa, no, can't have that.
There is no way that's serious.
Not at all. It actually happened, but in no fucking way, shape, or form are they being deliberate.
No. And you can't bring up ICP, though, without their most, I guess, infamous song being, fucking Magnets, How Do They Work?
I love Miracles. I love that song so much.
I'm curious, well, getting your impression on that song, do you think it was parody? Like, were those lyrics, do you think, meant, to be taken at the heart? Like, were those lyrics meant to be taken literally, or were they parodying themselves with that?
Well, see, what you gotta look at, and a lot of people who have heard that song, they haven't really gone further back. Insane Clown Posse have done songs like that before. They're like, oh, they're these psychopathic clowns and now they're singing about feelings and shit. You've got songs like Fly Away and Coming Home, from the older albums, like in The Great Malenko, the album they did with Zug Island. And there's a lot of songs they've done which are pretty, deep and full on. And it's very hard to think this from soft drink drinking fucking fat guys wearing face paint. But, that's the thing. The funny thing was with that video is that video was bundled on the special edition of Bang Pow Boom with In Your Face, which I'm surprised that didn't get laughed at, because there's a point in that song, in like the first or second line of the song, where they rhyme a sound effect with a word. It's like, hop out the box, swing on a spring, big violent J with the axe I swing. Legitimately, a swing. It's like, these fucking guys just rapped a word with a sound effect. Hall of Fame Grammys now. Do it.
Didn't they announce themselves as Christian or something?
Oh man, that was actually the year I became a juggalo when that shit went down. That was fucking hilarious. 2002 they released Shangri-La, The Wraith. I believe it was The Wraith. Wraith or something. It was one of those two albums, because they did a part 2 to it. Yeah, The Wraith, that's it, because the second part was Hell's Pit. And the last song, Thy Unveiling, the lyrics were something like, truth is we follow God, we've always been behind him. That album was the last album in a 6-part chronicle in the Dark Carnival. And the Dark Carnival is essentially a metaphor to life and all that sort of shit. And they're religious. They're religious people, but the fact that they said that they based it all on that, they pissed a lot of people off, and that was the funny thing was that only surfaced last year or a couple of years ago when Miracles became relevant. Because it's like, oh, did you hear, those guys are actually Christian. Oh, how do you know that? Oh, they said it in a song at some point. Yeah, 8 years ago, dickhead. 6 years ago. You could have picked up on it then, dick. But to be fair, I love them. They're just really good fun. Like, that's the thing, that they play characters, and they have fun with it. That's another thing with me. That's like why I get inspiration, because I can be a mic the microphone. I can be a rhyme flow. I can just go in and make music. I could just sit there and do that. Or I can be a whole new person. It's the same thing with WWE. You look up a guy like Goldust, or Christ, I'm gonna bring his name up, the Goldie-Gooker.
What?
It was a man dressed as a turkey who debuted out of cracking out of a giant egg back in the fucking late 80s. It did not last long. But the fact is, you can be someone else. You can have a whole new experience. And that's what I like to do. That's the thing. I just really like to entertain people with that sort of personality. And I've actually had people say to me, and I've actually had a couple of my friends go, dude, you stand up for your beliefs in such a way, and you don't give a fuck if anyone gets pissed off about you and how you feel. You've inspired me. I've inspired a dude who I know personally who used to get his ass handed to him at school to fucking stand up for himself. And for a guy that went through years of bullying, for me and my character, for him to stand up for himself, that's one of the most gratifying things you can ever hear. And I don't think I could have done that just being Luke Gary. It's like, oh, my name's Luke. I make brony music. Don't really do anything else. Subscribe to my channel. Give me money. Go to BronyCon. I can't really do that in that persona, but I can be like, yeah, I'm Koroshi-Ya. Fuck you. Fuck your mum. Give me some money. Bitchin'. Swag. YOLO. I know I can just have fun with it. And that's really what you gotta look at. I can be nothing, or I can be something.
The way I see that, actually, to be honest, is you're probably the only prominent brony musician that does it. But when you look at the music industry as a much larger whole, that tactic, like being the character, that onstage presence, that musician character, is one of the key elements to success. And I guess that's sort of, at least from my opinion, what has always made you a more appealing musician.
To some people. Yes.
But it's not a universal thing, but it's
yeah.
where I kind of see comparisons, and at least I think this guy puts on a character. I don't know 100% sure, but I look towards Andrew WK and his whole party persona.
Yeah, he is a paradox in himself. I don't know what to think of him.
I love him personally, but
I love him. I've loved him since fucking I Get Wet came out. That was like one of the first CDs I ever bought back in the day. And it was actually, I had a huge hipster moment when this fandom picked up on him. And everywhere I go, it's like, hey, song by Andrew WK was in Pinkie Pie something. And I'm like, fuck you. I liked him for 10 years. Fuck you.
That's how I
liked him before it was cool.
I saw him live before I really got into ponies.
Yeah, I saw him live at Big Day Out, man. That was fucking beautiful. Well, that's the thing. I was actually the same day I went to see Rammstein, which had been my favorite band since I was 11. So it's like, I get Andrew WK, I get Airborne, who was like, AC/DC 2.0 with less wrinkles, and then you've got Rammstein.
That was a
fucking great day.
Sounds like
great day.
I saw him live when he was in Brisbane, like, last year, on his birthday. So he was, going insane. And then, for whatever reason, he drew a liking to me, so during the encore, he just grabs me on stage, gives me the mic, and tells me to sing I Get Wet. So I actually wound up singing the encore. That's my fun Andrew WK
You lucky
story.
Son of a bitch.
Anyways, back on track. And bringing it back to ponies, though, I do think it's really cool how you've not only taken this character, but then you've thrown it to ponies. And I guess, as I was trying to get before, though, the contrast is so different. And mentioning before, like, you have gotten some negative feedback. What is the most, like, is there any particular email or something someone has said that's just made you stop and either laugh, like, left an impression for how negatively they responded?
Yelling at Cats owns that title. He owns that above anyone else. Like, I've been told off by a lot of people. His remarks to me have actually just sat there. Like, I co-run Brony Musician Blunders, which is a Tumblr blog. Mm-hmm. Needless to say, I've had, if you read that, there is a huge pinpoint into why I got so shitty with him. Rhymeflow, who's a really, really good friend of mine, I actually consider him, one of my biggest rap influences in this fandom. He is in, you guys know of Cult?
I unfortunately don't. Please explain.
Yeah, big Cult. Ooh, yeah, it's going to take the fandom by storm. What a shame no one knows of it. It's apparently Cats' rap group, which is like going to be the next big thing. It's going to be the next 2010. It's going to be like, sort of fucking blow your ears off. And I made a joke about him. I made a joke about Rhymeflow going, it's like, Cult, I love 2010, or something like that, just to joke around with him. I never actually directly said Rhymeflow, but since me and him follow each other, I think, he'd pick up on that in my rebel-rousing shenanigans. And Cats just found it and tore me a new asshole because of it. He's just said stuff on the lines of, how does it feel knowing no matter how much you try, you'll never improve, you're mediocre, everything you do is going to fall flat on its face while we succeed, blah, 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 blah. And I'm playing it off, like, as I do, like, yeah, of course, whatever. But, like, deep down in my head, I'm like, holy fuck, he's just torn me a new asshole. Now I know how everyone else feels. Shit. And Meelz can back me up on this, because he had to put up with me bitching for, like, 2 days. I'm like, dude, actually fucking got to me a little bit. And funny enough, right after that, I sort of, if anything, just started studying music more and bettered myself. So now when I, be a douchebag to people on that line, at least I can back it up now. But then again, with any musician, as you look back at your previous work, you're always going to see flaws. You're always going to see where you can improve. Like, with the song I did called Dedication, I want to go back in time and punch myself for writing those lyrics so damn close together and munched. Okay. It's like not even Tech 9 on acid could pull that shit off with fluency. I don't know why I did it. I guess I had my Tech 9 hard on phase. It did not end well. But that's the thing, I've looked back on it more recently with like shit like Rainbow and Feel Good. It's like, yeah, I'm actually going to put effort in when I write. I'm not just going to do it for the sake of having content, because I did do that. I did do that at one point where I just like... I honestly actually came into this fandom just pumping shit out, going, please like me, I'm an internet celebrity, come on, back me up here. And as it went on, it's like, okay, I'll back myself up further. And if anything, I have to thank Cats for giving me that kick in the arse. Okay. that's the funny thing. The guy in this fandom who has screwed me over the most, I owe one of the biggest thanks to. So it's just weird. It's really weird. This fandom is just topsy-turvy half the
Well, it's
time.
not exactly unheard of. The assholes that push the people to actually do better. Unfortunately, the only...
And that's why I co-run Brony Musician Blunders. Fantastic page.
Yeah, I've read a few of those. It's very articulate.
That's actually something that I wanted to address next, as it were. Brony Musician Blunders, your Tumblr blog. For those who don't know what it is exactly, from what I've gathered, it just seems to be, to a similar vein as the I Hate the Fandom song, but in Tumblr form.
It's not so much even that, and it does really, really get lost in translation, the meaning of it. What you've got to understand is people like me and Meelz, since day one, we've been looked over. Glitchhog, who now is a co-runner of the blog as well, a really, really good friend of mine, he's also been looked over a hell of a lot, and we like to think that we're pumping out, decent material that people should hear, and there are people who we've noticed because we're all pre-listeners now, we're all Equestria Daily pre-listeners, we've noticed a lot of people go into there, get rejected, and then kick up a huge stink fit as they're like, oh, they're just biased, they only want generic dubstep, and my shit don't stink, bitches, hashtag YOLO. And the thing is, those people need the kick in the ass, and no one else is going to do it. So rather than just go, you're fucking terrible, fix your shit, like some pre-listeners I know, whose names I'm not going to mention, we essentially take the songs that, by the musicians who cause those little shit fits, and we'll point out every problem with them. We'll go, this is where you fucked up. And we're not going to put it lightly, you fucked up badly. But here's how you fix it, because I want to see new musicians. I'll be honest with you, I love Tomb, I love Glaze, they're both fucking champions. But, as many others may say, I'm fucking sick and tired of just seeing them at the top all the time. I want to see some new names up there. And me and Meelz, we're all about the little guy. We still are technically the little guy. If it wasn't for Rainbow, I would still probably be at 400 or 500 subs. I'm still a little guy in my mind. But these people who think that they're at the top when they're not, and these people who want to be at the top because of fame in a fandom that is going to perish someday, these people need that kick in the ass to see it's not about that. One of the most recent guys we had, the guy who did the song Equestria Daily and Rainbow Dashing, he took what we said to heart and did not take in any of it at the first. And that was just drama. It's basically because I wrote the articles and, Meelz proofread them, but, I basically did 99% of it. So I don't like putting him on the spot, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah, this guy just started editing his descriptions and just bad-mouthing me really badly. It's like, oh, Mr. fucking High and Mighty Koroshi-Ya, who is, knows everything and has all the features, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, half my songs have been rejected. What the fuck are you talking about, you dickweed? Can't say I'm high and mighty. I haven't been in one MLR call in about 6 months, and I rarely ever talk to any other musician overseas, unless it's someone like Rhymeflow. And see, that's the problem. These people need to get their thumbs out of their asses and actually work to better themselves. Because they've got potential, but ignorance is a dangerous thing. Ignorance is a very dangerous thing, and if you dwell in ignorance, you're never going to get anywhere. Like me, I was doing that about 6 months in, and there was a point where I did Equestrian Rap Party. I did the original for that, and I kicked a big shit fit about that getting knocked back, and I listened back to that a couple of days ago, and I just thought to myself, oh God, Luke, why did you kick a stink? That was terrible. But then again, in hindsight, everything's correct, so in a sense, it's not so much a hate blog as people perceive it. It is more or less like it's an encouragement. It's our form of encouragement, because we're not the kind of guys who will just go, oh, it needs help, and we're going to hold your hands through the whole thing. If they ask for help, we'll help them, as we are doing with a couple of the guys who we've featured. But, we can't sugarcoat things, and we do want to see improvement, because who knows how long this fandom will be around for, because without the show, the inspiration does kind of dry up for a majority, and it could vanish. Like, we could wake up tomorrow, and we could just go back to the same things we were doing before all this. So we're trying to make the most of it, and these kids who could go on to bigger and better things in the future, We want to see them succeed. It may not seem like that, but we do want to see them succeed.
I'm noticing a lot of parallels, actually, between, like, your goal for this blog and sort of how you took what Exploding at Cats said to you before.
Well, pretty much. Like, I could have sat there and bitched and complained about it, or I could have just shut the fuck up and learn. And I want to learn. I don't have a lot. Like, outside of this fandom, I don't have a lot. I really, like, it slims by the day. But that's the thing, I'm making the most of what I have, and there are people who seem to enjoy what I do. There's people who don't seem to enjoy what I do, but they like the messages I have to put out. So, if not for me, I at least owe them that. I don't owe these. I don't feel I owe people anything. But you know, if people are going to give me the time of day to support me, I'm going to give them the time of day to give them the best possible product I can. So you know, half up, sort of like they give me, I give them back. It's not like I owe them for the sake of owing. I'm not going to half-ass products. You know, like, I'm not going to half-ass products for the sake of it. I find that rude. Like, there's musicians who I've idolized who have just put out really half-ass products for the sake of it. And it's just like Lil Wayne, for example. I used to fucking love that guy. Like, back in 2004, I used to fucking love that guy. And look at him now. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop! The little kid in me is dying.
For that, I see comparisons with Snoop Dogg and now Snoop Lion.
Oh dear God! That was a dagger to my childhood right there.
Yeah,
that was a dagger and a half.
That was one I really felt. This stage, it is time to take a bit of a musical break. Any songs you would like to play, Koroshi?
This is Nightmare Night by Meelz. There, enough said. Solely because I'm in it, but I love Meelz like a brother, so give him cred.
I think this might be the second time we play this song, but regardless, this is Nightmare Night.
Yeah, do it again!
Do it again! Nightmare Night.
Do it
again, he said.
Do it again, bitch!
This is Nightmare Night by Meelz. We'll be right back.
There's a Philly so cold around, here to bring you the ghoulish sounds of sensation, the occasion sort of bring you right that one time a year known as Nightmare Night. We all dress up, go trick-or-treating, cause it's candy what we want and we'll soon be eating. Gotta make sure to leave some for Nightmare Moon to make sure she doesn't come back anytime soon. So yo, who do I go as this year? I gotta make sure that I strike the most fear. Do I go as a Shadow Bolt or an Ursa Major, or perhaps Discord? Now that's way too major. All I know is I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna make it my mission to scare everyone, cause it's Nightmare Night. Come on, don't be late and get your scares ready. Oh boy, I can't wait. Do you feel that chill in the air? Now knowing if the ghouls are either here or there. Don't be silly, Philly, it's a beautiful sight. It's the best time of year, it's Nightmare Night. Do you feel that chill in the air? Now knowing if the ghouls are either here or there. Don't be silly, Philly, it's a beautiful sight. It's the best time of year, it's Nightmare Night. Moonlight wakes up on this holiday, and a lot of moonlight starts to burn away. Running back the candy in the morning time. Give them a moment to remember. It's a Nightmare Night, what a fight. Give me something sweet to wait. So why don't we celebrate Nightmare Night? Well, let me tell you some story. It's a man's like the lunar protector of Equestria. Her name was Nightmare Moon and she's a sister of Celestia. She was banished for 1,000 years when she eventually returned. All about fears of revenge and chaos. A foreseeable enemy were apparently safe if we leave us some candy. Yeah, it's whack, I know, and it makes no sense. So when you're younger though, it's quite immense. But alas, it's a night we can all have fun. And since when did having fun never harm anyone? So we'll trick or treat, we'll play games and have fun. Cause the proceedings of tonight have only just begun. So we'll trace it this night, I ain't got no fear. Cause Nightmare Night's my favorite time of the year. And do you feel that chill in the air? Now knowing if the ghouls are either here or there. Don't be silly, Philly, it's a beautiful sight. It's the best time of year, it's Nightmare Night. And do you feel that chill in the air? Now knowing if the ghouls are either here or there. Don't be silly, Philly, it's a beautiful sight. It's the best time of year, it's Nightmare Night. Moonlight wakes up on this holiday, and a lot of moonlight starts to burn away. Running back the candy in the morning time. Give them a moment to remember. stalks your soul. Sacrifice your sweets on this nightmare night. Ever wonder why the air's so cold and you feel a chill running down your spine? It's 'cause nightmare moon now stalks your soul. Sacrifice your sweets on this nightmare night.
And we are back from the repeat song. Woohoo! Anyways, moving right along. As you all know, most recent episode was Spike. I don't know what it is about this. Well, actually, I do have my theories, but Spike episodes just always seem to disappoint, in my opinion.
Well, the All's Well That Ends Well one, that was pretty solid, in my opinion.
That's regarded as one of the worst episodes of the entire series as a whole.
Really?
Yeah. The Owlicious episode wasn't Flash.
That was fucking terrible, that episode.
God damn.
That,
I changed my opinion, though. I didn't mind it.
yeah, well, that's fair enough, but I've just found, like, I guess from my opinion standpoint, every single Spike episode has been disappointing, and I think the problem is Spike, he's like a Simpsons side character. He's great in small bursts, but the second you have an episode focused around him, it just...
He's the Millhouse of the My Little Pony universe.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
going. No, I'd accept that. I was going to say it was going too far. I think it's the fact that because he is in the background for the most part, people don't know how to write for him. They don't know how to set up scenarios for him. I keep on going on about Pinky being insanely hard to write, and she's one of the main fucking characters. Spike,
She gets...
good God.
Spike gets more screen time than Applejack.
Except in this new one,
Yeah.
which was essentially an Applejack episode anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read somewhere, actually, Applejack is the only character to have spoken in every single Season 3 episode thus far.
That's right.
They're probably trying to make up for it.
That's thereby proving that she is best background pony.
I think... I do think, though, that in regards to Spike itself, like, one of the major problems with this episode is they wrote him out of character. He's supposed to be, number one assistant, and he was so incompetent and inept at it that the entire episode came across as incredibly, incredibly lazy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
One word to explain that. Merryweather. It's not good form to constantly bash on someone for their one work, but, she's the one who wrote Mysterious Manderwell, which is, the absolute worst one in pretty much every way. It's not cringingly painful, like torturous, but at the same time, compared to everything else, it is easily the worst. The thing is, she doesn't do the characterization all that well. It's definitely improved. It's improved massively since that episode, but here it's obvious that, like, she was able to do she was able to get the plot going, and she was able to do things nicely paced, but then you get the characterization. She slaughtered Spike. AJ was pretty much in character.
Yeah, AJ was decent.
Well, really, the only character who had a character was Spike, but the problem was it was focused around him.
Yeah.
Twilight and Pinky, though, I noticed it's just like, this isn't really them. There might have been some for Rainbow Dash, but that was too insane for me to pay attention to how she was acting.
Rainbow Dash's fanfic.
Yes, Artie was awesome in that episode.
Automatically best episode right there. Right, go the end. GG, guys. GG, good job. GG. See you next week.
It's just, meanwhile, behind the scenes, they're all going up to Twilight. It's just like, why did you give her that book? What hell have you unleashed?
Good thing there's no internet.
Oh, Rainbow Dash.
A lovely world of ship fix, my dear. A lovely world of ship fix.
I honestly, I still haven't seen anyone actually take the approach where they've written, or they've tried to rewrite what Rainbow Dash would have written. I haven't seen that. I'm sure it exists.
Do you want me to put that up? Because I could do that in like a minute.
Go for it. Challenge accepted.
Are you seriously daring me? Because you got to take into account me and Meelz co-wrote the Quest for Celestia's Royal Crown, man. The shit that happens when rewrite fanfics.
Go on, do it.
Wait, an actual rewrite, or is it just like an MST3K thing? You have no idea what that is, do you?
Shit. If I were to write it, if I were to write a fanfic based on this, it would pretty much consist of John Cena and wrestling references for about 3 minutes. So I would warn you in
That
advance.
doesn't really sound like it. Oh, fuck it. As long as it's entertaining.
Oh shit! All right, give me 1 minute.
Oh god, I just keep raising the bar for you, don't I?
Oh, this is exciting.
And this is why I love you, people.
Does it at least have good grammar? Can you at least keep the grammar? If you can't keep the grammar consistent, can you at least make it ironically funny with the grammar being inconsistent?
I can speed write pretty well. Just give me a time limit. Just give me a time limit to start going. Just give me a time limit to start going, and I'll just type like a motherfucker, and you give me like 1 minute, and I'll just read back whatever the fuck I said.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna... One sec. I'm gonna give it a countdown, and I will time you for that 1 minute. During that 1 minute, I'm actually going to keep discussing the episode itself, so we're going to be acting as a bit of a distraction. So, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Your 1 minute starts now. So while Koroshi's off doing that, I'm super excited to hear what that goes.
Let's talk about the Timberwolves.
The CGI.
Yeah, that's the big thing, because...
Yeah, is that the first case of 3D models that they've used?
Yes, it has been.
I believe so. I believe that was the first case. I liked it.
It was really out of place.
I found it a little bit off-putting. I keep on getting annoyed with... This is the second time that CGI Timberwolves have been included in the show, and it's been pretty obvious. The other one being Battletech. So, shout out to anyone who manages to get that reference. Yeah. It's... I mean, these are obviously the same guys who did Iron Giant, and they did the CGI really fucking well, but, they've got a more limited time frame to actually do this stuff.
And the CGI...
10 seconds.
The CGI wasn't embedded within Flash.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time.
Let's do this.
Oh shit, this is terrible.
Alright, do you want me to do a dramatic reading, or let me do that?
I could do a dramatic reading.
I think let's have Koroshi dramatic read his own work.
Yeah, go on.
Oh shit. Alright, this fanfic is called The Day Rainbow Dash and Daring Do Went Out for Shenanigans. Part 2. The World is Nigh. Boogaloo. It wasn't even a part 1, it was so good that it surpassed itself.
Everybody already knows the story.
Once upon a time, Rainbow Dash and Daring Do went out to buy ice cream, and then they had ice cream, and then Pinkie Pie came, and then she came over and said, "Oh, hi, can I have your ice cream, Dash?" And then Dash said, "No, that is not okay." So then Pinkie Pie said, "Fuck you!" And then John Cena appeared and said, now, that is not appropriate." And then everyone died. The end.
6 stars. 6 stars immediately. Straight to EQD.
EQD!
Straight to
Where's
EQD.
my feature?
I think we blew up his head.
Oh gosh.
We should get him to write a story over the next week, and then we'll read it out on next week's episode.
Yeah.
You now see why.
I see.
Brilliant.
What I heard from that story was Pinkie Pie getting shut down.
What I heard from that story was the fact that you said that first of all the Pinkie came and then she came over. So
Yeah.
If you want a good laugh, what you got to do is go to Mike the Microphone's YouTube channel and look up his reading of The Quest for Celestia's Royal Crown. That was pretty much the fanfic that started it all.
And it was one you wrote.
That was the... Well, this is how we did it. We basically, me and Meelz, we gave ourselves, 30, about a minute each. Yeah. About a minute each. So we had to write as much as we could in 1 minute with no backspaces, and we sent it back and forth to each other till it was about 6 or 7 or 8 paragraphs. And we essentially wrote an entire fanfic in 4 to 5 minutes. And this fanfic has basically sparked nearly half of my group's memes and all the fucking stupid jokes. It's actually gotten a few people into wrestling as well, which is beyond insane. By the way, this is an episode discussion for ponies. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back.
Today we talk about ponies.
Since when do we do
Spike
that?
is my favorite pony.
John Cena, best pony.
What the is a pony?
Back on the episode. Back on track to episode discussion. First of all, Timberwolves, yes, they're amazing. Continues my underlying theme, though, that this is the most grimdark season yet, with the fact that Applejack was killing them left, right, and center.
Well, here's the thing about that.
Yeah.
It was very obvious that it's not so much. Well, yeah, okay, it is killing them, but it's the same thing as the Pinkie clones. That the fact that these are obviously mythical constructs existing within a mythical realm. It's not so much killing them as exercising them, which I guess could be kind of killing them. Because I mean, come on, she beat the crap out of them. They fell apart, and then they managed to reform. And then the second time she did so,
the last one didn't.
They became, ultra mega off huge Voltron Timberwolf Mad Cat insanity. Wolf. If they were trying to go for a fucking David and Goliath XP thing, fuck you.
You can expect that in toy stores by next year, July.
Damn straight.
$9.95. Toys R Us.
If it's $9.95, that's cheap.
Shit. Okay, $29.95. I don't know fucking American pricing. Not good with
Do
this.
it in yen.
I'm not good with currency.
Nah, they'll be expensive and they'll come with butterfly stickers.
Oh yeah, it's gonna like this big badass Timberwolf comes complete with brushable hair and glow-in-the-dark stickers.
Yep.
Fluttershy Ringmaster.
Damn straight. No, actually, it's 4 different Timberwolves. You have to buy them all, and then you can actually combine them into the one giant mecha one, making Transformers even more redundant. Nobody watches Transformers anymore.
No one.
What the f*** is a Transformer? It's all about Timberwolf formers now. Get with the fucking program, kids.
Battletech plus Transformers equals ponies.
Equals profit and ponies. Especially
Damn
profit.
straight.
All you need to do is throw Pokemon in that as well, and
Yeah, just slap Mr. Potato out on the side and boom, fucking profit left, right, and center.
Pixar, Disney movie, Pixar, Oscars, Randy Newman theme song. Go.
Video game.
Oh my god, if Randy Newman did the theme for ponies, my life would be complete.
I know, right?
Would it be like that, man? You're a pen, yeah. Shut the fuck up, Randy.
Continuing on, though, I think this episode was universally agreed to probably be the worst of the season. However, there were good things. As mentioned before, Rainbow Dash fanfic I thought was hilarious. A lot of the side gags were good. That's one of the biggest problems with this episode. The side gags were good.
Pinky, she was out of character, but even so, I can't complain about her being in the episode.
Yeah.
No, it was a clever episode at times, but all in all, as a whole episode, it was crappy. But that's the thing, Spike episodes suffer from the fact that I'm going to piss quite a lot of people off here, but he's just a generally boring character by comparison to the rest of them.
Yep.
But everyone else puts on a stellar performance, so that's the thing. If you want to look at an episode which is just generally boring on the whole, you look at the Aloysius episode, because let's face it, the two main characters were a bird that didn't talk and someone who had the personality of a wet dishcloth.
Well, that's what he functions as, so...
Literally, he's a wet dishcloth that can't clean for shit.
And this is the episode after he was used as a Zippo.
Yeah.
He is just beyond useless.
Dude, no, I just said he functions as a Zippo.
He did save the day at the start of season 3, kind of, sort of, by falling off a building.
Combined with the wife toss. By the way, he has, it's been confirmed he has life debts also for Rarity and Twilight and Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash and Princess Cadence.
And Apple Bloom.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And Sweetie Belle.
That was the thing, the whole Dragon Code thing. If they'd just gone with the fact it's just like, if all Twilight had to say was just like, but it's the Dragon Code that he wrote up in order to try and make himself feel better or whatever, and if we just try and take that away from him, he's going to be crushed. As opposed to going, oh, it's a Dragon Code, you can't break that. Like, what?
I think it was actual Dragon Code. It's just Spike said it's my personal Dragon Code because he is a dragon.
Somebody in fucking Hasbro write a goddamn Bible already. Get Lauren Faust to write a fucking Bible and then follow that. Give it to the writers and go, you want to write episodes? Read this shit so that way we don't have continuity problems. Why is that so fucking difficult?
Yay.
Yeah, but it's a Spike episode. Not much people are going to remember that shit. And then again, we haven't really had decent continuity since the first season. Like, if you really want to piece it by piece.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's been occasional continuity, but yeah.
Yeah, but like, in comparison to the first season, where little bits and pieces hinted up to the finale, like you had the Golden Ticket episode, you had the one with dresses, and it all built up to this big...
that's a different thing, but yes, they needed more of that.
Dare I do another comparison? It was like fucking WWE, where they build up to WrestleMania. It's like if they've got little builds up here and there to this big fucking showcase. That's how I saw it. They built that up really, really well as the seasons went on.
If we're talking about the season in general, I gotta say, the first 2-parter definitely had some things that are like, oh, what's this? What are they talking about? What are these references to? What is that thing? That kind of stuff. And so like, are they going to actually have some kind of continuity? Are they going to explain during the season? No, they haven't explained shit. So as a result, we're going to get to the finale. It's just like, by the way, you remember the stuff in the season 3 opener? Yeah, that stuff's coming back. So it's like, okay, so that's 9 episodes with nothing to do with it.
Yeah. I was really hoping, actually, for more of that, in particular during the Scootaloo Luna episode, but, I still think that's still my favorite episode of the season.
Well, there's no...
Scootaloo gets her own episode, and then Luna gets all the credit for it. Good job.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Scootaloo's still best buddy.
This is Derpy all over again.
No, this is not Derp YOLO. Oh, God.
Oh, Derpy, that was hilarious. That was the funniest time to be in the fandom. My God.
So, yeah, unfortunately, we have run out of time for today. Holy crap. Thank you so much, Koroshi, for coming on. It's been a lot of fun.
Not a problem, Ida. Lovely time. But just before I go, now, my swearing's not going to get edited out, right?
We may put beeps on...
Oh, am I going to get beeped? Can I please get beeped for this last bit?
Yeah, sure.
Shit, fuck, buggerballs, come to PonyCon EU. Thank you.
There we go. Yeah,
if I don't hear beeps, I'm going to be seriously pissed off. I need
we
beeps,
put
man.
beeps on the and the cups.
Golden Microphone didn't do this for me for Australia on Air when he promised me he would, so I kind of need retribution here.
All right, don't worry, we'll get that sorted.
Thank you.
Other than that, a huge thank you to our editor for this episode as well, TK. Unfortunately, Whitaker is a little out of commission as of late, so we have a different editor. For everyone out there, give him some love. Similarly, thank you both Stingray and Pain God for coming on yet again.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no problem. It was good fun.
Also, a little bit of a shout-out promo. Next episode will be a live recording, so get excited for that. And last thank you, to any and all listeners out there. Once again, thank you for listening to our I want to call it a drunken shamble, but unfortunately I'm sober, so our sober shamble of a shameful spectacle that is this podcast. I've been Formal Riot. Thank you so much. Our email, flankcaster@gmail.com. Good night, everyone.
Peace.